we need to warm up because it's cool in this room. But first, let's just come into Tadasana. Let's let our arms hang at our sides. Welcome, everyone. And let's let our eyes close. And let's start to take some deep, calming breaths or energizing breaths. Just drawing in whatever energy we need for our practice today. Keeping these nice deeper breaths flowing through. Let's let our eyes open. Let's reach the arms out and up. And we'll exhale to the heart center. And let's do that a few times. Lifting the heart. Exhaling to heart center. One more time. And let's let our arms release at our sides, give them a little shake, and we'll start to warm up by just marching in place. So raise one knee and then the other. Just continuing to breathe deep. And as we raise one knee, let's point that toe. The toes pointing slightly downward. And then we'll add an arm movement. So as one knee comes up, opposite arm raises up. Let's lift the knees just a little higher. Reach a little taller. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Then let's bring our feet into Tadasana, either feet slightly apart or feet together. Let's bend the knees. We'll reach up. We're going to bend the elbows and reach up and down. Let's do 3 more. And release and just roll those shoulders back. Let's find our block. And for those at home, if you don't have a block, a little pillow would be fine. Just anything small that you can hold. And we're going to come back to our marching. We're going to reach it up overhead. And as we bring one knee up, we'll touch our block or a pillow to that knee. Let's point the toes. Oops. Let's bring that knee just a little higher. We'll do 3 more. Then let's take our block. We'll bring it between the thighs. And a little couch pillow works just fine for that too. Bend the knees a little bit. And we're going to reach up and do those arm pumps. Just up and down. Breathing deep. Lightly squeezing into that block. 5 more. See, this is having the desired effect, warming us up. Let's take that block out. We're gonna reach it up and lean with it to one side. We're gonna sway back and forth. You can tell how not good at cardio I am. So we'll inhale as we reach up and exhale to lean. The next time we lean to one side, let's hold there, lightly holding our prop, and we'll just tilt the upper body, looking down at the hip for a moment here, then return to that side bend. We'll reach up, tilt the other way, and then just lightly twist that upper body. We're looking right down the outer edge of that leg. Come back to the side bend and up. We'll do that one more time. Lean, tilt, hold, side bend, come back up, lean the other way, hold, tilt, hold, side bend, and back up. Then let's bring that block between those thighs one last time. We'll bend the knees and we'll reach up and pump the arms. You can thank Tony Robbins for this one. 5 more. Then let's reach up, big inhale, chair pose on the exhale, deep breath in. Then let's fold forward. We can bring the forearms to the thighs here, letting the head drop down, give the head a little shake. And if you want to go deeper into forward fold, you can release the rest of the way down or just stay there. And let's take a couple more deep breaths. Then let's roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Once we rise, let's inhale, reach up, chair pose, squeeze into that prop. Take an inhale here. Exhale, forearms to the thighs. Hold here for a breath or longer if this feels really good to your back. You can stay right here or drop into a deeper forward fold. Let's take a couple more breaths here. And let's roll up slowly, one vertebrae at a time. Head and neck come up last. Once we rise, let's inhale, reach up. Chair pose. Hold here, drawing the core in. Maybe sit just a little bit deeper. One more inhale. On the exhale, bring the forearms to those thighs. Let the head hang. Take a full breath. And then again, if you want to go deeper, release into a deeper forward fold or just hang there, breathing, releasing any tension in the spine. And let's roll up slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae till we're standing. And let's inhale, reach up, and exhale, hands to the heart. So let's take our block out and we'll come right down onto our mat. We'll keep our block and strap somewhat handy. So for folks joining us at home, we're also going to be using a strap as an option today. So if you've got one, great. If you don't, that's okay too. So let's roll right down onto our back and let's bring the knees in close, putting a hand on each knee, and let's rock here from side to side. And rocking back to center, let's stretch the legs up to the sky and just start to circle those ankles round and round. Hmm. If I can get our music to come back. There we go. And then change direction, circling the ankles the other way. And then let's paddle the feet, just kind of flexing them forward and back. And then draw those knees in close again. Give yourself a nice big hug. Rock a little side to side. So we'll place the soles of the feet onto the mat. And let's locate our strap. We'll open it out. And we're going to make a fairly small loop that's going to go around the thighs. Okay. So the way that we'll find the right distance for that is we're going to take our block back again. But this time we're going to put it between the thighs the long way. So earlier I had mine at least the shorter way. So we're going to put it in there the longer way, like so. So our strap has to be big enough to fit around that on the outside of the thighs. I'm just going to snug that in so we can hold the block, or we can press a little bit out into the strap. So we'll place the soles of the feet on the mat at first and just find that right distance, get everything nice and aligned. Lightly squeeze into the block. And then lightly press outward into the strap without losing the block. So just a little movement. Then lightly squeeze into the block. And lightly press out into the strap. And let's do that one more time. Lightly squeeze into the block. And lightly press out into the strap. And then come back to centered place. So have the soles of the feet pressing into the mat, neutral sacrum. Let's bring our fingertips behind the back of the head. We're going to squeeze into the block lightly as we curl up, head, neck, and shoulders. As we roll down, let's press lightly out into the strap. Exhale, curl up, lightly squeeze the block. Inhale, curl down, lightly press out. And let's do a few more of those. So even though we've got the weirdness of our block and strap contraption down there, let's bring the focus into the core, into those deep exhales as we scoop up and lower down. And let's do 3 more of those. Then let's curl up and hold. We'll squeeze into the block as we lower the torso an inch and lift an inch. We're going to lower and lift. 3 more. Then press lightly out into the strap as you lower and lift just an inch. 3, 2, 1. Lower head, neck, and shoulders down to the mat. Reach the arms up overhead. And we're going to pick some imaginary grapes up there above the crown of your head. So you're reaching away from your toes. Arms are close to the ground. Let's take a few breaths like that. Then we'll reach our arms long by our sides, reaching the fingertips toward the toes. Scoop the core down and in, lightly squeeze into the block. Curl up, head, neck, and shoulders, and hold. We'll bring the right hand behind the back of the head. We're going to pulse to the left, squeezing into the block. Little pulses to the left. 3, 2, 1. Then let's switch hands. We're reaching the right hand to the right. We're going to lightly press out on the strap. Reaching those right fingertips past the right shin. Feet pressing into the mat. 2 and 1. Back to center, lower down. Stretch those arms up over the crown of the head, close to the ground again. And we'll pick those big imaginary grapes, reaching with one arm and then the other. Then let's bring our arms back to our sides. Bring the knees up into tabletop, so they're right above the hips. From here, we're going to stretch both legs out, reaching the toes away, and then bring them in. Let's lightly squeeze into the block, reaching the legs out, then drawing them back to tabletop. 3 more times, nice and slow. Should definitely feel that core working. If the core isn't really active here, lower the angle of the legs so they stay closer to the ground. Then drawing in, let's pause for a moment, take a breath. We're going to bring the fingertips behind the back of the head. Curl up, head, neck, and shoulders, and hold. We're going to lightly press outward onto the strap. Extend both legs out long, then bring them back. Lightly press out as you extend and return. 3 more. And 1. And bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Release head, neck, and shoulders. Reach the arms out long. And let's just rock the pelvis just very lightly, east to west. We'll do one more thing with our block and strap here this morning. Let's rock the pelvis back to center. Bring the legs up into our tabletop. Bring the fingertips behind the back of the head, and let's curl up, head, neck, and shoulders. We're going to hold here. Lightly squeeze the block. We're going to twist right elbow toward left knee. Inhale, center. Press out on the strap. Twist the other way. Back to center. Squeeze the block. Twist to one side. Back to center. Press out on the strap. Twist. Back to center. Let's keep going. One more to each side. Okay. Then let's bring the knees closer in. Let's take the block out, slip the strap off, and we'll reach our arms out wide to either side. Let's let the knees drop away to one side. Take a few breaths right here. Then coming back to center, shoulders are soft. Let's tip the knees to the other side. Hold here. Jaw is relaxed. Then let's come back to center. Find that neutral sacrum. Bring the legs into our tabletop. They should feel very light and free now that we don't have the block there anymore. Fingertips behind the back of the head. Curl up, head, neck, and shoulders, and hold. Single leg stretch. We're going to reach one leg away, then switch and switch. Each exhale, scooping those abs down and in. 5 more. Then release everything back down. Release head, neck, and shoulders. Arms release to the sides. Let's sway the knees away from each other, tipping onto the outer edges of the feet. Then sway the knees toward each other. They might touch in the center, and we're going to go back and forth. So you can position your feet where you want to get that nice range of motion through the hip. Let's do 3 more. And back to center. Find that nice neutral sacrum. Let's bring the legs into tabletop. And let's take our block. Since we have our block, we'll bring it right onto the belly. And we'll just place a hand on either side. And for those at home, again, a pillow works just fine here. We're going to lightly press the palms into that prop. We'll open one hip out to the side, keeping that same shape of the leg. Then exhale it back to center. Then open the other hip out to the side. Exhale back to center. So as we're going back and forth here, we're not only making the hips more supple, we're building core stability. If you want to work a little harder into that core stability, you can raise your arms up. So we're not using the arms connecting to the ground to stabilize, but the core. Let's do 2 more to each side. And coming back to center, let's bring the soles of the feet down to the mat. Let's set our block off to the side, and let's walk our feet out so they're out at the edges, the outer edges of the mat, arms releasing down. We'll do single knee drops from here, gently lowering one knee down to the center toward the mat, then drawing it back out. And let's exhale the other knee down and in. Inhale it up and out. And we'll go back and forth. Let's do 1 more to each side. And coming back to center, let's walk the feet in closer so they're about hip distance apart, finding that neutral sacrum again. Let's bring the knees into tabletop, arms at our sides. Let's curl up head, neck, and shoulders, and we'll either reach the arms forward or bring them back behind the back of the head. As we inhale, let's reach arms and legs away. Exhale, return. Inhale, reach. Exhale, return. Double leg stretch. 3 more. And 1. Bring the legs back to tabletop. Release head, neck, and shoulders down to the mat. Let's open the knees away from each other, keeping the heels together, toes slightly apart, so we're in a V shape with the feet. Now as we exhale, let's press the legs away towards straight, squeezing those heels. And inhale, draw the heels in toward the groin. Exhale, press away toward the far wall. Inhale, return. We can keep head, neck, and shoulders on the mat. It's not like we're not getting core here. Or we can peel up head, neck, and shoulders and support the back of the head. Let's do 4 more. And let's release the feet down to the mat. Release head, neck, and shoulders if they were lifted, and just sway the knees side to side. You can sway the neck side to side as well if that feels good. Then swaying back to center, let's bring the legs into tabletop again, and we'll take our block or our pillow and just place it between the ankles. Legs are parallel, toes are pointed straight up. Arms at our sides, palms down. Let's scoop those shoulder blades downward toward the back pockets. We're going to slowly extend the legs away towards straight. Inhale. Exhale, bend, return to tabletop. Inhale, reach away. Exhale, bend. Let's do 3 more. Last one, reach away, hold. We're going to lower the legs an inch toward the mat, lift them an inch. Lower an inch, lift an inch. 4 more, shoulders rooting to the mat. Last one. Then let's bend those knees. We'll bring everything in close. We're going to change the position of the block to be between the heels so we can come back to that V shape. It's going to feel unstable because the block or the pillow is going to make us a little wobbly there. So knees are apart, heels are together, arms at our side. Slowly, slowly extend those legs out and bend those knees coming in. This is way harder than it should be. My block is weeble wobbling the whole way. That's all right. Let's do 3 more, nice and slow. Good. Last one. Then we'll bring the legs back into tabletop. We're going to keep that block lightly held between the heels. Knees are over the hips, toes are pointing out, so we're still in our froggy shape. Arms are at our sides. We're going to imagine we're trying to keep the shape of the leg, but lower the block toward the mat, like as if we were going to set it down, but we're not. We're going to lift it back up. So we'll lower it toward the mat. Scoop that core to lift it back up. We'll do 3 more. Obviously, the lower you go, the more core intensity. Last one. Okay, let's take the block out. Let's clasp our hands over the right shin. We'll just let that left leg stretch out and just rock this right thigh side to side, massaging into the hip. Then let's draw the left knee in. As we change our hands to the left, let's also change our clasp, so the other pointer finger's in front. And then stretch the right leg out long. And we'll rock this left thigh side to side. Then rocking it back to center, let's place the sole of the left foot onto the mat. Let's find our strap. It's probably still got that big loop in it, but that's fine. Let's leave the loop. We'll just put the loop over the ball of the foot and stretch that right leg upward to the sky. So we're just going to pause here for a few breaths, gently drawing this right leg in close. So we're getting a nice stretch down the back of that right leg. Then let's soften a little bit. We'll take our left hand to the left thigh. We'll gently press the left thigh outward to the left and let the right leg open outward to the right. Let's hold here for a few breaths. This should feel really good after all the inner thigh work that we've already done. Then engaging the core, let's draw both legs back to center. Sole of that left foot is going to firmly press into the mat. We'll take the strap into the left hand, bring the right hand right to the right side of the pelvis, right to that right hip crease. And we'll cross the right leg over the midline just an inch or two, pressing firmly down through that right hand to keep the pelvis rooted so we can get a nice stretch into that right IT band. Then let's come back to center. We'll soften a little bit. Slip the left foot into that loop. We'll reach that leg up and place the right foot onto the mat. And for a few breaths, let's just relax those shoulders. We'll gently hug that left leg close, inviting a stretch down the back of that left leg. And let's soften. We'll take the right hand to the right thigh. We'll lightly press that right thigh out to the right and allow the left leg to open to the left. Finding a good angle here. We'll hold and breathe. Sacrum stays nice and neutral. And we're directing the breath into wherever you feel the most sensation. And engaging the core, let's draw these limbs back to center. We'll switch hands and take the left hand to that left hip crease, pressing downward to the left side of the pelvis. We'll cross the right leg over the midline just a couple inches. Right foot is firmly pressing into the mat. And again, we'll just breathe into wherever you're feeling this the most, inviting some softening and lengthening. And coming back to center, let's release the strap. We'll set it aside. Let's roll to one side and we'll make our way up into a tabletop position. So coming onto hands and knees. Hands right underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Once we're there, let's begin cat-cow, arching the back and rounding the back. And breathing our way back to neutral. Let's locate our block or our pillow, whatever we've been using for a prop. And let's bring that right in front of the right hand in our tabletop position. Knees right underneath those hips. We're going to place our right hand on the block and slide it forward so we can press that palm into it and reach the left leg back right behind the hip. So everything about the torso stays very neutral. We're scooping the core in and up. From here, let's inhale and lift the block, lift the leg, exhale, lower, lightly touch down. We'll inhale and lift, exhale, lower. And we're keeping that core scooped in. We want to feel the left glutes working. So keep rolling that left hip down a little bit. Let's do 2 more. Last one, we're going to lift and hold. Scoop that core in and up. We'll open the right arm outward to the right and the left leg out to the left. Then we'll just lift an inch, lower an inch. Lift an inch, lower an inch. 3 more. Last one. Reach that right arm straight forward, left leg straight back. Big inhale. Exhale, lower, and release everything into a child's pose or puppy pose. Let's turn the palms up and just open and close the hands a few times. Then deepening the breath, let's rise up to our tabletop again. From here, we're going to slide that block over to the left so it's out in front of that left hand, where we can just lightly place the palm on top of it. We're going to slide the right leg back and find our center of gravity here by lifting that core up. Then with our inhale, let's lift and exhale, lower, slow motion. Feel that right glute engaging. Keeping that right hip turned down so that glute can fire up. 2 more. Last one, we'll lift and hold. Scoop the core up. We'll open the left arm to the left, right leg to the right. Hold. Lift an inch, lower an inch. 3 more. Last one. Reach straight forward, straight back. Big inhale. And exhale, release. Child's pose or puppy pose. Nice deep breaths into the back. You can turn those palms up again and open and close the hands if that feels good here. Then let's rise on up. We'll take our block with us and we'll come into a kneeling position facing that block. Let's take our left leg out to the left. It'll probably be off the mat and that's perfectly fine. And we'll lift up so that the right hip is directly over that right knee, left foot off to the left. Then let's take our block in our hands. We're gonna reach it up to the sky. Draw the core in, shoulders down the back. We're gonna lean toward the leg. Inhale back up overhead. We're gonna lean toward that leg again with the exhale. Inhale, lift. Let's do that a couple more times. And 1. Then we're going to slowly reach away, pressing down to that left foot. Hold, scoop the core in. We're going to lift an inch, lower an inch. Lift and lower. 3 more. Then we'll take that block into our right hand. We're going to bring it all the way down so we can put some weight on that right hand and lift that left leg up. Let that left shoulder roll back. Heart is lifting. One more full breath. Then we're going to let that left foot come down again. We'll take that block up into our side bend, up and over and toward that left leg. Hold the block with the right hand. Let the left hand come down to the left leg. Then we'll inhale that left arm back up. And exhale, release down. We'll just place that block out in front and release into a child's pose or puppy pose, letting those hips drop back. Then deepening that breath again, let's rise on up into our kneeling position. We'll take our right foot out to the right this time, taking a moment to make sure left knee and hip are in line, right foot pressing into the earth. Then let's take our block, we'll bring it between those palms, reach it up to the sky, shoulders down the back, core is drawing in. We're going to exhale toward that right leg. Inhale back up. Lean on your exhale. Return on your inhale. It's like we're between 2 panes of glass. Side bend to get into those obliques. One more time. Then squeezing that block, we're going to lean slowly away and hold. Keep scooping the core in. We'll lift an inch, lower an inch, just an inch. Just an inch. Keep scooping that core toward the spine. 3, 2, 1. Take the block into the left hand. We'll let it float down to the mat. We'll put some weight on it so we can lift that right leg, lift the heart. Deep breaths. One more inhale. Then exhale, we're going to set that right foot down. Slowly draw this left block back, up, 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 right overhead. And then we're going to lean toward the right leg, hold that side bend. We'll free up that right hand to reach down to the right shin and side bend here. And with our inhale, let's reach straight up again. And exhale, release. We'll place that block on the ground. And let's take a wide-kneed child's pose this time. Walking those knees apart, big toes lightly touch, arms reach forward. You can place your hands on the block for a little deeper shoulder release here. Then deepening the breath, let's rise up to a seated position. We'll find a Dandasana pose, stretching the legs directly out in front of us. We can scoop the flesh out from underneath those sits bones. Legs just reaching out in front, and we'll fold those arms one on top of the other, sitting up nice and tall. With our exhale, let's twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist the other way. Inhale, center. And let's go side to side. One more to each side. Then back to center, we'll bring our feet outward into a V shape, as wide as the narrow edges of the mat. And now let's reach our arms out wide. As we exhale, we'll twist. Inhale back to center. We'll twist and saw back to center. So as one hand is reaching out over the toes, the other hand is reaching to the center line behind the back. So that back hand is pressing. That'll take us a little deeper into that twist. Let's do two more to each side. And coming back to center, let's just roll those shoulders back a few times. Let them settle down the back. We'll bring the feet closer in. Let's make sure our strap is somewhere nearby. And let's roll right down onto our back. When we get there, let's bring the knees in close. Give yourself a nice big hug. Let the jaw release. And then let's place the right foot onto the mat, and we'll bring our strap. You can place that loop right onto the ball of the left foot. And we'll stretch that left foot up to the sky. I'd like to do some hip circles just as a massage into that hip. We did quite a bit of hip work. So we'll circle this left leg in and down, around and up. And we can keep this right foot firmly on the mat the whole time to add stability so we can really open up that left hip. If it feels stable to you and still a good stretch to stretch out the right leg instead, let it lay on the mat. That's perfectly fine too. Just want to feel nice and secure here, connected to the earth. And we'll just circle this leg at whatever pace feels good to your body. Then let's change direction. And we'll circle back to center. Let's bring the right leg up and we'll slip the ball of that right foot into the strap, placing the left foot on the mat for starters, finding that neutral sacrum. Then let's circle this right leg in and down, around and up, finding a nice smooth range of motion there. And then it's your choice. You can keep that left foot grounded on the mat or stretch that left leg out. Whatever variation you choose, let the jaw stay really relaxed. Neck is soft, eyes are soft. And let's change direction. Nice big smooth circle. And slowly circle back to center. Let's slip that strap off and stretch the right leg out long, arms at our sides. If there's any other gentle movement pattern or pose that you'd like to do to round out your practice, please take this time. If you have something nearby to put over your eyes, that can be really soothing to the nervous system in Shavasana. And just notice the feeling of the body resting on the earth here. Somewhere deep down below us, there are these little seeds just waiting for spring. If they tried to germinate right now, they'd be in trouble. But nature's very wise. They're going to wait till the conditions are right. And in the same way, in Shavasana, we return to that seed form, letting go of all outward appearances of energy and effort, letting ourselves take that necessary rest before spring comes again. Mm. Let's take some deeper breaths. Directing the breath right into the heart center. Just notice how you feel in mind, body, and spirit. Invite any benefits to stay with you. And let's start to wiggle fingers and toes. Stretch a little bit. And slowly, gently, let's roll to one side, coming into fetal pose. And let's use our hands to help. We'll press our way up to a centered seat. Let's close our eyes when we get there. Bringing the hands together at the heart, or just placing the hands right on the heart. Bowing the head to the heart for a moment. Inviting our awareness to center there. May we all have hope, joy, love, light, and laughter. Thank you all for sharing this beautiful morning. Have a wonderful day, and namaste. This feeling is why this practice has survived for 5,000 years. We're on to something. Yeah.